Hi guys, Ursa Dia here, and I'm back with an exciting Otomania episode today. I'm super excited because this episode is officially the 1-year anniversary of Otomania having been released on this channel, and so I'm super excited and super thankful for you guys for sticking around for an entire year. The series has meant a lot to me, and I can't wait to work on future things. And before I get into the actual Otomania episode, I do want to say later tonight I will be doing a live stream, probably around 7 o'clock-ish. It should be pretty short, maybe only an hour or two, but I really want to go on and just celebrate the anniversary of Otomania and talk about how much it's meant to me, as well as kind of like behind the scenes, like snippets from me about how I work on certain episodes and kind of the direction that I see the series going in the future, because I am going to make more of these and I'm super excited to work on them. So please come by and check out the live stream. It should be fun and yet again really short, so I hope to see you guys there. And now on to the actual Otomania episode, which I'm super pumped for. This is one that I actually had the idea for probably 2 or 3 months ago, and I had debated it being the first video of 2021, but then I decided to push it back and have it be specifically for the 1-year anniversary. And that is because today, for Otomania, we will be playing Otomania. And now you might think by the name that we have some sort of connection to the app. We do not, apart from the fact that we have the same name and they're about otome games. Essentially, the app Otomania is an otome app run by Genius Incorporated, who makes a lot of mobile otome games. And a lot of mobile otome game companies have actually been combining a lot of their smaller apps into just one collective app, and that is what Otomania is. It is the collective app for Genius Incorporated games. And so I wanted to test it out and see what it's about, because I already have a lot of preconceived notions about how collective otome apps run, and I personally don't really care for them. I personally prefer having individual games in their own apps. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I do believe that I've played Genius Incorporated games, but I believe that I've played a lot of their really old ones way long ago, and I don't think I can actually remember any of them. So this should be interesting. I've not played any of their newer games recently, so I'm excited to do that. And I'm also just excited to check out this app because it has the same name as us. Although I did look back into, because you can see all the patch notes and the updates and stuff, and according to their updates, the 1.0 version was released 9 months ago, which I believe that's just the app being released, which means that my Otomania is older than Genius Incorporated's Otomania. So I had the idea for the name first. At least that's what I'm going for, but I could be wrong. If I am wrong, let me know, but I do believe that I had this name first. But I think it's really funny that we both came up with this name. And it's very fitting, because Otome Games Mania, it makes sense. But yeah, so I'm excited. Let's get into it. So I am opening the app for the very first time. I have no idea what to expect. I literally downloaded it and just let it sit on my iPod. Sure, they can send us Otom apps. Yes, we are English. Sign in with Apple and get 35 rubies. Free ticket cap will increase from 2 to 3. Okay. Sign in with Apple is not supported on your device. What do you mean? It's an Apple iPod. Okay, we're gonna try closing it out and restarting, because that wouldn't make sense that you wouldn't be able to. Okay, so it's not letting it sign in. So we're just going to continue as a guest because I don't have the time or energy to figure this out. So if you continue as a guest, it won't save your progress. It just had a thing at the bottom that said sign in with Apple to save your progress. So that's kind of stupid. I don't get why it wouldn't use the game store, because that's what a lot of like Otomis do, or like Facebook. Like MLQC uses Facebook as a sign-in, or the game store, or just, you know, having it save it in general to the game, like every other mobile Otome. Have you played? I'm gonna say no, just because I can't actually tell you the name of the game that I fully play. Okay, so they're only giving us a choice of 2 games. Oh. Wow, this has lots to download. If I had known that, I would have opened the app beforehand. But you know, you kind of expect that when you play a game, like, and you download it, it would come, like, all downloaded. But who knows? I do have to say, like, just looking at, like, the 3 guys and, like, the cover, like, they have very distinctively different art styles from each other, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, the guy on the left with the 2 different color eyes and the white hair, like, obviously looks way more realistic than the guy in the middle, who's, like, your typical, like, Otome, like, animated guy. Change our name. It's not our name. Oh. So me trying to see if there were more games clicked on one. So I guess we're playing Soul of the Yokai. Which is fine, because I love yokai. I also like vampires, so... Yukio? So he, I'm gonna assume, is a Yukiono, just from his name. He's a Tengu. I can tell you that just from him having wings. Are those the only 2 guys? Karasu? Yeah, he's a Tengu. Karasu means crow, in case you didn't know. If you watch Haikyuu, you probably know. He's an Oni, you can tell from the horn. This is less of, like, Ricidia knows her Otome games. It's more, how many yokai do I know? Oh, they have a blue and a red Oni, or are they the same? I'm assuming they're not the same. One had 1 horn, one had 2. Do they not have a kitsune? Do they only have 3 guys? 4 maybe? Do I click something? I don't want to, like... skip. Okay. It's kind of surprising. Like, I mean, there's nothing saying that, like, every, like, yokai thing has to have a kitsune. But I like kitsunes. Cherry blossom petals dance on the warm breeze. Sunlight glimmers on the golden decorations of the shrine, and I take in a deep breath. Ah, I've always wanted to come to Kyoto, but there was someone that promised he would bring me here, but in the end I had to come by myself. For a moment my happiness snuffs out, and I remember exactly what caused me to run away to Kyoto. It will probably take a while before I recover from that breakup. The wounds are still so fresh after all. But I'll try not to think about sad things. I take a coin from my pocket and toss it into the shrine collection box. My ex was a selfish cheater. I'm better off without him. Hell yeah, girl. We don't date cheaters in this house. The holy bells clang and chime above my head as I clap my hands twice. I'm hoping for a new start. And who knows, maybe I'll be lucky enough to meet the man of my dreams. Well, girl, good news for you. You are in an otome. So that wish is right around the corner. I wander around the shrine as I daydream to distract myself from thinking about my ex. Suddenly, something slams into me. Ah! The force of the blow knocks me to the ground. The cobblestones cut into my legs. Watch where you're going, damn it. Can I just say, just from looking at him, and like I know that he's an Oni from like the opening thing, but he definitely is gonna be like the tsundere of the group, and I think that's really funny because there's a game called Enchanted in the Moonlight by Voltage, who's another like big mobile otome game company, and that was one of the first otome games I ever played. I think it was the second otome game I ever played, and my favorite guy on there, because it also deals with yokai, is Shinra, who is this very tsundere Oni. And so I think that's really funny. You can actually see Shinra, he's in my Otomania logo. I'll post a picture somewhere. But yeah, so I think that's really funny that like, I can already tell just from looking at this, Hayato's probably going to be like my favorite. Which will be funny because then it's just leading into like the whole like tsundere like Oni type character. I wince from the pain and look up at the person who bumped into me. I lock eyes with a strikingly handsome man towering over me. I take in his fiery red hair and stunning golden eyes, and my heart skips a beat. Don't be distracted by his good looks. I need to get up. Okay, tutorial. We're about to encounter our first choice. It's up to you how to respond. We can 1. Call him out. 2. Ignore him and try to stand. We're gonna call him out because, you know, sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire, and that's what I enjoy doing with tsunderes. If I'm given the chance to argue with a tsundere, I will argue with a tsundere. I was watching where I was going. You're the one who bumped into me. The red-haired man glares at me as if surprised that I would dare to challenge him. Bruh, I'll fight you. Dude, his nails are long. I don't know how well you guys will be able to like see this, but like his nails are sharp. Like, they're pointy. It's your fault that you were in my way. I do have to say, right now it's showing question marks as his name, but the first time he spoke, it did actually say his name. Which, I mean, minor errors like that, you can't, like, hate on them for. He scoffs. Whatever. I don't need any more selfish men in my life. I heave myself to my feet. Suddenly, I feel a sharp pain in my ankle. Ah! I fall back onto the sharp gravel. The rocks pierce into my legs, and I can feel the stinging of new cuts. God, how, like, sharp are the rocks that we're landing on? This really is not my day. I squeeze my eyes shut and try to collect myself. Maybe I shouldn't have come here after all. Suddenly, I feel strong arms around me. The ground falls away as I am lifted up. Enough, you look pathetic. He begins to carry me through the grounds of the shrine. He's so strong, it's like I weigh nothing. My guess is we probably don't weigh a lot to begin with. He looks buff, like look at those pecs, man. He got some man titties under that shirt. We cross through the shrine and gateway, and I suddenly realize our situation. Words I can read. I've been picked up by a stranger. I like how she's just connecting that. My first thought as soon as he lifted us up was, we're being kidnapped. Okay, where are you taking me? Thank you. You see, I feel like in this situation, the girl would be like, where are you taking me? But me being me, I'm like, obviously he's helping us, so I'm assuming, granted it's a big assumption, I'm assuming he's taking us to like a doctor or like a clinic or somewhere where we can like fix our cuts and like our sprained ankle. So I'm just gonna say thank you, because that's what I would do, because I have the foresight, I guess, or the just general knowledge that I'm assuming he's taking me somewhere good. If he's kidnapping us, then, you know, we're screwed. But I'm assuming. The red-haired man grunts. Maybe that's his version of you're welcome. That probably is. I glance at him as he carries me. His eyes are beautiful. That is true. I'm a sucker for golden-eyed characters. Like, obviously, like, most of you who have been watching this show for a while know Takaru, my anime husband, my love of all loves. Golden eyes. Gavin from MLQC. Golden eyes. There's just something about golden eyes that's just like chef's kiss. Beautiful. Maybe he's a cosplayer. Those color contacts are so intense. You gotta love when, like, or at least I love when, like, you're in a situation where, like, the character is, like, noticing things about, like, a supernatural character, and instead of just, like, taking it, like, as it is, because, like, in anime and stuff, you always have, like, crazy-looking characters and stuff, but I love when, like, the character's just, like, you look different. Are you wearing, like, a costume? Did you dye your hair and stuff? And it's just like, no, this is just how I look because I'm not human. It's very rare that it happens, but I love when it does. He catches me staring, and I quickly look away. So, where are we going? He grunts again. Okay, then. Hospital. Okay, so he's not kidnapping us. I didn't think he was, but I wonder about his intentions before we suddenly arrive at a nearby hospital. After a brief wait and a few bandages, I'm all patched up. The doctor said it wasn't anything serious. Well, even if he was pretty gruff, that rude man helped me. I should thank him. I leave the doctor's office, but there's no sign of the red-haired man. Maybe outside? But the street is empty. He's gone. I give up the search and begin to walk down the street. It's getting late, and it's been a very eventful day. I should head back to my inn. I take out my phone to get directions. Out of batteries. Great. Well, we didn't come very far. I should be able to find my way back. Was it this way? I find myself on a dark street. The street lights flicker as I walk. This doesn't seem familiar at all, and it's a little spooky. So don't go down it. Like, if you're going down a road that's, like, spooky, just turn around, like, find a convenience store, ask, excuse me, how do I get to where my inn is? Like, it's not that hard. Delinquent 1. Hey there. I'm not gonna voice these delinquents. They're not worth voicing. 3 rough-looking men step out of the shadows and walk towards me. What's a pretty lady like you doing out here by yourself? I have the worst luck today. We can tell them to leave me alone, or we can ignore them. Both of those are pretty decent options. There should be a, like, turn around and, like, walk away. I'm gonna ignore them, because I feel like telling them to leave you alone is just gonna, like, egg them on. I mean, both of these are gonna egg them on. Like, some dude's gonna come and save us, but I'm gonna choose to ignore them. Yeah, I'm not in the mood for confrontation. Maybe they'll leave me alone. Men come up around and behind me, blocking my way forward. Don't ignore me. One of them reaches out and grabs my arm. Stop or I'll, or you'll what? You're coming with us. I wriggle and kick, but they are much stronger. I can't get free. And there's... I was gonna make a joke with, like, our knight in shining armor, but he's very bright looking compared to, like, the dark setting that we're in. There you are, darling. Suddenly, as if by great force, the three men are blown away from me. What? I feel a gentle, cool touch on my shoulder. Please don't wander so far away. I turn and see a breathtakingly handsome boy with hair as white as snow standing next to me. He smiles gently at me, pulling me closer to him. Are you okay, Rissa? How does he know our name? We did not give him that information. He turns to face the delinquents, and his smile turns icy cold. How many, like, ice and snow puns do you think that they're gonna, like, casually put in here when it comes to him? So far, they've already done, like, 2 or 3. Tisk, how shameful. To treat a lady so roughly. You have no right to call yourselves men. He narrows his eyes and replaces... I can't read, apparently. He narrows his eyes and his playful attitude is gone, replaced by an icy seriousness. Sensing danger, the delinquents stumble back to their feet. They look furious. The hell was that? Piss off, pretty boy. The delinquents charge towards us. Oh no. But the hand on my shoulder is steady and calm. Very well. My rescuer glances down and smiles at me. Don't fret, darling. 2 of the delinquents swing at us. With an effortless brush of his arm, my defender sends them sailing across the street. This will only take a moment. The last delinquent looks at his friends lying in a pile and pulls a knife from his jacket. You're gonna pay for that. But before he can move, the white-haired man suddenly appears in front of him as if by magic. One strike and the delinquent crumples to the ground. So rude of them. I apologize if you were scared. His silvery eyes glance up and down, and I wonder if perhaps he is checking me for injuries. Well, he is going to find injuries, but they aren't from this. Despite fighting off 3 larger men, his designer clothes are spotless. You know, we love a man that can fight in white and, like, keep everything clean. Like, that takes skill. I can't even have a meal without messing up, like, something white that I'm wearing. And they didn't dare to hurt you, did they? No, I'm fine. Thank you, pardon me. Please call me Yukio. And it was my pleasure coming to the rescue of such a lovely princess. It was nice of him to help, but I have to learn how to take care of myself. Next time I'll try harder. Yukio gestures to the end of the street and we begin to walk. Something is bothering me. How do you know my name? You told me, of course. His smile is warm and disarming. I must have told him at some point and then forgot. Or we didn't, and we're being stupid realizing that we did not tell him. My mind is still racing to catch up with everything that happened. We arrive safely back at the main street and I decide to think on it later. Darling, before you go, I have a favor to ask of you. I'm a little apprehensive, but he did save me. I should at least hear him out. A favor? Won't you? He bows slightly and looks at me with a flirtatious grin. Join me in my world later? His world? Does he mean go on a date with him? First of all, he's not my type. Second of all, he knew our name, made up a bad excuse about why he knew our name, and specifically said go to his world, not on a date. And I can understand where MC is coming from, being like, does he mean go on a date with him? But I'd also be like, sus. So I would say, I'm sorry, but I barely know you. Forgive me if that was too forward, but I'm afraid I can't help it. You really are lovely, Rissa. He smiles warmly at me. He doesn't seem to want to take no for an answer. Think it over for a bit, okay, darling? He doesn't seem like a bad person, and he did save me. Well, okay. If he turns out to be a creep, I can always block him. Let me give you my number. He laughs lightly and waves as he steps into the crowd. No need for that, princess. I'll see you again soon. Before I can ask him what he means by that, he vanishes into the crowd. I look up and down the street, but there's no sign of him. We should have asked him for directions to our inn, so we don't get lost again. On my own again, and very tired from all the day's excitement, I decide to follow the main street back to my inn, which we should have done in the first place. What a day. I lay down on the futon in my room and quickly drift off to sleep. At some point in my dreams, I realize Yukio's leaning over me. That's kinda creepy. Rissa, I'm here for you, princess. So time to close your eyes. My thoughts are hazy with sleep as I think for a moment. Before I may have just followed along, but I think I'm ready to make my own choices now. And adventure might be just what I need to get over my breakup. After all, it's just a dream. My eyes slip closed. When I open them, I find a mysterious world before me. We seem to be standing on a wooden bridge. A few feet ahead is a massive gateway leading to a curious-looking town. Are those monsters? Strange creatures of various shapes and sizes are passing over the bridge. And standing right in front of me is... I don't know why they did a full show of what he looks like. Oh, I guess to show off his fancy outfit. Yukio? His designer clothes have been replaced by an equally expensive-looking kimono and lavish accessories. He is surrounded by a white, cold aura, and his skin seems to glisten in the light. That's right, darling. But you're not human, no. I'm what you call a Yukio Toko, a snowman. I think I called him a Yuki Onna earlier, which is a snow woman. Whoops, I'm sorry. I mean, Yuki Onnas are way more prevalent in, like, Japanese yokai stories. But yeah. In contrast to the cool aura around him, Yukio smiles warmly and reaches out to me. I can feel his hands so clearly, and everything seems so real. Am I dreaming? Yukio laughs and pulls me in closer. This is no dream, my princess. Welcome to the world of the yokai. So we were kidnapped. Essentially is what I'm understanding. I stand close to Yukio as various yokai pass us on the bridge. Suddenly, I catch a glimpse of a fiery red. Wait a minute. It's that asshole from earlier. Is what I internally would be thinking. Or I would accidentally say out loud. A man dressed in flamboyant warrior clothing is walking towards us. He has horns protruding from his forehead and is wearing different clothes. But I can't forget that blazing hair and those striking golden eyes. You're the rude man from The Shine. That's kind of along the lines of the asshole from earlier. He looks at me in shock and disbelief. You're that weakling girl. Sorry, I tried doing that in a voice, but then I was laughing at his nickname. What the hell are you doing here? He glares at Yukio. Now, let's be a bit more hospitable to our guest. The red-haired man scoffs, crosses his arms, and glares at me. Rissa, this is Hayato of the Oni. Woo, 2 for 2 on what they are as supernatural yokai. We've already met. What, really? Oh, then what a wonderful reunion. I wouldn't call it that. He took the words out of my mouth. Come on, Hayato. I see you've grown your horns out just for this special occasion. Yukio laughs, but Hayato looks momentarily perplexed by the comment. What? That's absolutely not true. But something is distracting Yukio, and he doesn't seem to notice Hayato's strange behavior. Ah, we're in luck. Yukio's face lights up in a wide smile as he begins to wave his arms. Brother dear, over here. This is the Tengu, I'm assuming. Suddenly there's a gust of wind and a shadow lands on the bridge in front of us. When the dark figure straightens up, I realize it is a handsome young man. He has wings. Wow, I really just made that comment out loud. Don't say anything about, like, Hayato's horns or, like, anything weird. Sees a yokai with wings and it's like, he has wings! Yes, my sweet Rissa, this is my darling brother, Karasu. Are they actually brothers, though? That would be, like, a weird, like... I'd like to see that family tree. But don't let that cold stare fool you. He's no Yukio Toko like me. Thankfully. One Yukio is damn well more than enough. Karasu's a Tengu. Woo, 3 for 3, baby! Karasu stares at us coldly. It's nice to meet you. I don't know what you're playing at, Yukio. To bring a human here? What are you planning? Yukio smiles and scoots closer to the Tengu. When he leans over as if to give him a hug, Karasu shoves him away. Whatever. And don't call me brother. And the 3 yokai begin to chat. They seem really close. Suddenly I notice that Karasu is staring at me coldly. He catches me looking and walks over, stopping in front of me. The world of the yokai is no place for human beings like you. My heart sinks. So, I'm not welcome here? I mean, it's not like we came voluntarily. Karasu sharply turns his head, looking away from me. Suddenly, I feel something being pressed into my hand. What's this? Take it. I look down and see a small silver instrument. A whistle? This place is not safe for humans. If you are ever in need, use this. He spreads his wings and with a great leap spirals into the air and flies away. First he tells me I'm not welcome, but then he gives me a gift and runs away. What a strange man. Thanks for saying goodbye, brother dearest. He hates you. Ah, how could you say such a thing? My sweet little brother's probably just tired. He's not the only one. I quickly stifle my yawn as I notice them both staring at me. Excuse me, it's been a long day. Night. It was definitely nighttime in my room, but now, you look like you're about to fall over. Weak. Forgive us, Rissa. They begin to lead me into town. How long is this prologue? As we pass, I notice some of the passing yokai. As we walk, I notice some of the passing yokai give me strange looks. Like I said, Hayato, you're too gruff with the ladies. Huh? Yes, just like that. I bet you scared our princess here. Nah, we fought him. Kind of. Yukio glances over my shoulder and winks at me. The big band Oni here is terrifying, isn't he? What should I say? He's not all that bad. He should have better manners like you. Part of me wants to pick on him, but I don't think that he should have better manners like you is actually, like, in a teasing way. Like, if I was, like, actually there, I'd be like, oh, yeah, totally. He should definitely have better manners like you, Yukio. But I feel like in this case, it'd be like, no, he really should have better manners. So I'm gonna say he's not all that bad. Because, like, your girl can handle a tsundere. Yukio looks surprised. Hayato gapes at me in utter shock. What? You don't think I'm scary? If we thought he was scary, like, we wouldn't have, like, yelled at him earlier. Oh, you're scary, alright. And rude, too. But I remember how he carried me all the way to the hospital. I know you're not as tough as you act. Tsunderes. Cold on the outside, warm on the inside. Hayato snorts a laugh. Maybe you're stronger than you look. Wow, that part just gave me flashbacks to Kamigami no Asobi. And the Takaru has a line where he's just like, huh, you're not as weak as I thought you were. That's right, you are a weed. And yeah, if you get it, you get it. But you look like a weakling, so that's not saying much. Hate to break up your little lover's quarrel, but we've arrived. Finally, we arrive at a traditional inn. Yukio speaks to the Kitsune innkeeper and tells me my room number. Aside from the yokai staff, it really is just like my inn in Kyoto. Well, good night. Whatever. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow. Maybe. Sweet dreams, princess. So we're really not gonna question why we're in a yokai world. I leave them in the lobby and head to my room. Too exhausted to do anything else, I lay on my futon and close my eyes. Meeting Hayato, Yukio, and Kurasu, coming to the world of the yokai. It's like a dream, but it's real. I never would have imagined my journey to Kyoto would turn out like this. I mean, most people who go to Kyoto aren't thinking like, oh hey, I'm gonna accidentally be well, not even accidentally, I'm going to be kidnapped by a Yukio Toko and live in the world of yokai without any explanation whatsoever. And best of all, I've been too busy to even think about my ex, except for the fact that you thinking that now just made you think about your ex. Although I may be in a strange new place, I drift off to sleep with a smile. Tap, tap, tap. I hear a soft noise, but I decide to ignore it and try to drift back to sleep. Tap, tap, tap. I slowly wake up and remember that this isn't my inn in Kyoto. That's right, this is the world of the yokai. There's no TV in the world of the yokai. I just noticed that compared to the other inn. Who knows what sort of things prowl around in the dark. Just then, the door to my room begins to slide open. I feel like we should call out because part of me is just like it's probably one of the guys or like somebody who works at the inn. So I'm just gonna be like, hello? Maybe another room forgot which room was theirs, or another guest forgot which room was theirs. Well, this doesn't seem too likely. I don't want to panic just yet. Can I help you? Why, yes, darling, you can. Oh shit, my earbud. Yeah, I figured it was probably just one of the guys or like one of like the innkeepers or something. If it was like somebody trying to like hurt us, they wouldn't have knocked first. They would have just barreled in. I realize the voice is familiar just as the door opens all the way. A cool draft enters the room along with the smell of winter pine. Yukio? Forgive me for opening the door. When you didn't answer, I got worried. Might I come inside? Wide awake now, I stand up and move towards the door. It's so late. Is everything okay? Yukio nods and smiles. Why is he here at this time of night? In the middle of our sleep. I'm a bit confused by the situation when Yukio drops to one knee on the floor. What? He looks up at me with sparkling silver eyes. Will you marry me? Yo, dude, that's too fast, man. So is this like a second chapter? Okay, chapter end. You've reached the end of the chapter. Restart the chapter to try out other choices or continue to the next one. I want to continue, but this is going to be a long episode if I do. That was a pretty long, like, prologue. Okay, I'm gonna continue, and if I'll cut it, I'll cut it. Maybe because it's like the 1 year anniversary, I'll do 2 parts. Dude, you have to download each section? That's kind of frustrating. Wait, what? Marriage? My heart is racing and my head is spinning. As I try to figure out what to say to Yukio, I hear a thundering crash outside my room. Yukio! The door to my room is thrown open. You see, this is what should have happened if there was like an intruder. It's like just the door busts open. Hayato! Hayato storms over and yanks me away from Yukio. He pushes me behind him as if shielding me from the Yukio Toko. Keep your clammy hands off. She belongs to me. What? Belong to you? I feel like the whole room is spinning now. Dude, we just woke up from like a nap. We're in a foreign world. Nothing's been explained to us. Not one, but now 2 yokai men are trying to claim me as their own. Maybe she doesn't want to marry you, Hayato. And you think she wants to marry you? Marry stupid snowman? Sorry, I can't read apparently. Hayato snarls and raises a fist. Back off. She's mine. It looks like they are about to fight. Watch, the Tengu's gonna come in and be like, will you all knock it the fuck off? I struggle to find my voice. Come on, Rissa. Wait, please. Oh, they actually stopped and listened to us. I thought either the Tengu was gonna come in and just bash like their heads together like Urza does with like Natsu and Gray, or I thought like we were gonna like reach for the whistle and be like, I'm in danger. They both stop their heated argument and turn to look at me. I hesitate a moment before building the courage to speak. I won't be taken advantage of again. I don't know what it's like for yokai, but for humans, marriage is a big deal, and I hardly know either of you. So please tell me, why do you want to marry me? Hayato lowers his fist and looks at me with annoyance. Yukio looks surprised at my question. To fortify the blood of the Oni, of course. It would strengthen the bond of the Yukiona and Yukio Toko. Everyone knows the children of a yokai and a human are powerful. Maybe you don't know, darling, but half-breed Hanyo are much stronger than normal yokai. All at once my head clears. So, do yokai just typically just like go out into the human world and like kidnap women? Because like, why would they do that? Like, I mean, I can see that, but like, why did we get brought into it? Well, obviously I know why we got brought into it, but it's just kind of like, are they doing it? Because, like, they haven't specifically said that they're heads of their clans, but I'm going to assume that they're probably heads of their clans. Which, if they are, this is very, very similar to Enchanted in the Moonlight. Just with less guys. And also, we're just a normal human. In Enchanted in the Moonlight, you have, like, special blood, which is why the yokai want you. But yeah. Okay. A sickly, painful feeling creeps up my throat. So, you both want to marry me so I can give birth to strong children for you? Yeah, that's not the best way to pitch a marriage. Especially in, like, modern day. Glad you can keep up. Yukio beams. Our children will be so beautiful. Both of them kind of lack tact a little bit. Hayato and Yukio begin to argue again. But all I can think of is my ex-boyfriend. I remember him turning his back and walking away from me, leaving me for his own convenience. Never again. I've had enough of being treated like someone's plaything. Hell yeah, girl. Seriously? Hayato whips his head around to face me and Yukio stops mid-argument. I can't believe this. Did either of you stop to consider my feelings? How I would feel marrying only for the sake of having strong children, not to mention the fact that they are basically strangers. We are also overlooking that fact. Yukio looks frozen in shock. Hayato stares back at me with a surprised expression. What if I want to marry for love, because someone loves me back? Or because they care about me? No? You two, it seems like you only care about yourselves. My throat is tight and I feel tears in the corner of my eyes. I feel silly for hoping. It looks like the yokai men are the same as human men after all. Ooh, bird! MC, careful, he could melt from that burn. The room is silent for a few moments. It feels like an eternity. Whatever. He begins to make his exit but pauses at the door. Your loss. He stomps out into the hallway. Princess, Yukio begins to reach out to me, but then thinks better of it. Smart man. Just go. Yukio looks sad, but he also turns to leave. I'm all alone now. My room in this strange world suddenly feels too big. I've had enough for one day. I'll worry about everything tomorrow. For now, I ignore the sting of tears in my eyes and head to bed. I wake up feeling cold. There's frost on my door that connects my room to the inn's courtyard. That can only mean I open it and find Yukio sitting outside. His flawless skin slightly shimmers like fresh snow in the morning sunlight. He smiles when he sees me. Good morning, Princess. I can't help but notice that his flirtatious grin looks strained. Yukio. The events of last night come rushing back to me. I feel the dull ache in my chest return. I turn away from him. Wait, please. I have something important to say to you. Might I come inside? I pause for a moment. I'm sure he'll keep sitting there if I don't let him in. Fine. Yukio smiles gently and elegantly steps into my room. Thank you. It's starting to get toasty out there. I was worried you wouldn't be up before the sun. Have you been there all night? Yes, I was worried about you. Last night I wasn't thinking. I realized I was being too selfish. It was wrong for me not to consider your feelings. I'm sorry. He looks so apologetic, looking at me with worried silver eyes. Should I forgive him? Oh. Okay, and now you see, this is what I kind of hate about certain mobile otomes, especially the ones that seem to be in these collective games, like the collective apps, is you do need to pay to get a good ending, which is bullshit, in my opinion. Like, if you want to have things where, like, Ikemen series, like, does it so certain things you can get premium, and that you can pay for, but the overall, like, you can get the good or the, like, best end without having to pay, but having, like, actual, like, your choices, essentially, like, if you don't have the money to pay for the best end, you're forced to just have the good end. Like, that's really sucky, and it's just a money grab, and I personally don't care for it. Like, if you want money that badly, either charge for an entire route or figure out, like, a different way to do it than making, like, premium choices. But that's just me, and, like, I don't know how well, like, maybe theirs is really cheap, but I highly doubt it. But their first premium choice, some choices cost rubies. These can let you access exclusive scenes and improve your relationship. So, we're given 30 rubies. I don't want to spend money on rubies, so I'm actually going to hold off, and I know that's going to be kind of a sucky thing because you guys should want to probably see the exclusive thing, and I want to see the exclusive thing, but if they're only giving us 30 to start with and the first choice is 22 rubies, like, I don't want to be left with 8. So I'm going to say not to forgive him, and I know that kind of sucks. but also he's not my favorite, so I'm not too hurt over it. I was really upset last night, Yukio. You and Hayato said things you shouldn't have, and you reopened some fresh wounds. I appreciate your apology, but I need more time before I can forgive you. Yukio nods his head slowly. He smiles, but it's obvious to me that it's forced. He seems like he wants to ask more, but decides better of it. I understand. I hope that one day I can earn your forgiveness. He turns and steps towards the doorway, but pauses and looks back. He looks miserable. The next words are whispered so lowly, that's a weird phrasing, that I almost miss them. Until that day comes, wait for me, princess. A sudden burst of cold wind surprises me, and I shut my eyes. When I open them, Yukio is gone. With Yukio's departure and no sign of Hayato, there isn't much to do in the inn. How should I spend my morning? You know what? We're in the world of yokai. Let's fuck around. Time for an adventure. The old me would have just waited around for my ex, but I'm a new person now. And this is literally a whole new world just waiting to be explored. I'm going on an adventure. I slip on the yukata left for me in my room and head downstairs. The kitsune innkeeper bows to me. I give them a wave on my way out. As I walk through town, I try to ignore the strange looks from yokai. Some of them try to be sneaky while others openly stare. They seem to be uncomfortable with me here. I try not to let their lingering looks bother me. Suddenly, I catch a glimpse of a horned figure coming towards me. I don't know if I'm ready to talk to him again after last night. Is that Hayato? This woman really looked at this guy and was like, that dude looks like Hayato. They're not even dressed the same and have way different builds. But before I can decide on a plan of action, the approaching Oni stops abruptly in front of me. Very clearly not Hayato. In case she somehow last night couldn't forget his fiery red hair and blazing golden eyes. And then this dude walks up and she's like, Hayato, I'm suddenly colorblind. And just blind in general. Oh, you're not... Okay, now she gets it. This figure is definitely an Oni, but he is dressed far more elaborately than Hayato. I noticed that while Hayato has two horns, this one only has one. This Oni only has one. He wears a slimy smirk, and he looks like a scumbag. What's this? He looks down at me with a look of pure disgust on his face. I thought I smelled trash. He reaches out and snatches my arm. What's a disgusting little human doing here? This is also, like, again, low-key reminding me of Enchanted in the Moonlight. In Shinra's route, Shinra's, like, antagonist is, like, his older brother. Maybe, I think it's his older brother. It's been a few years since I played it. But he was a blue Oni, and Shinra was a red Oni. And there was, like, bad blood between them. So, low-key, that's kind of what this is reminding me of. I push against his hand, but his grip is relentless. Hey, I was invited here. Let go. Invited? He laughs cruelly and digs his nails into my arm. Despite the pain, I try hard not to cry out. What's his problem? This is not a place for a human scum like you. He has sharp teeth. If you don't vanish from my sight this instant, I'll make sure I never have to see your nasty face again. How can we vanish from his sight if he won't let go of us? With a snide grin, he raises his hand as if he's about to strike me. This is bad. I need to. Before I can do anything, someone grabs the Oni's hand. With a shove, Onimaru, whose name we did not know prior but suddenly have gained the knowledge of, is pushed away from me. Who dares? Standing next to me and glaring daggers at my attacker is Karasu. Onimaru. I think it's time for you to go. The disgruntled Onimaru eyes Karasu apprehensively. He seems to weigh the odds for a moment. Sticking up for human scum, huh, Karasu? You spend too much time with that lowlife Hayato. Pathetic. Onimaru pulls his hand back. You should learn from that brother of yours. I notice Karasu wince slightly before his face returns to a stone mask. He narrows his glare at Onimaru. The slimy smirk slips back onto Onimaru's face. You'll get what's coming to you. But whatever, this is a waste of my valuable time. Onimaru gives us one last disgusted look and leaves. He shoves the other yokai out of his way as he goes. I was right, it seems like I'm really not welcome here. Suddenly Karasu reaches for me. There's a flash of pain, but Karasu holds my arm gently. What are you doing? He looks over the bruises forming on my arm. Karasu meets my questioning gaze. His crimson eyes look at me carefully. Are you okay? Karasu is hard to read, but he looks worried. It's kind of nice to be cared for like this. I look up at my unexpected rescuer. We're fine, because we're not going to pay for the premium. I'm fine. He drops my arm and steps away from me. That Onimaru, he thinks he can do anything because of his wealthy family. Karasu crosses his arms and stares at me. You need to watch out for yokai like him. Oops, they put the wrong name in the name box. Where are Yukio and Hayato? Oh, we're not on speaking terms with them. They're supposed to be babysitting you. I don't need them to babysit me. Low-key, we kind of do though, but like also, we're not talking to them. Karasu raised one dark eyebrow. Actually, the truth is, last night Hayato and Yukio proposed to me. Both of them, at the same time. Karasu stares at me for a moment. He lifts a hand to rub at his temples. He's definitely like the mom friend, just like done with everything. Which ironically, I believe is how the Tengu acted in Enchanted in the Moonlight. He looks a little pale. That is ridiculous. I know, right? Finally, someone who understands. It's impossible. Well, I don't know about impossible, but it's certainly crazy. Humans and yokai cannot get married, because they cannot coexist. Oh. A human and yokai together bring nothing but pain and misfortune. He closes his eyes and seems to be lost deep in thought. Well, maybe we're not on the same page, but there's clearly more to his story. Karasu, I know that yokai aren't the biggest fans of humans, but if you hate humans, why did you help me? He opens his eyes open and he stares at me solemnly. He opens his mouth. For a moment, it seems like he has something he wants to say. Then his expression darkens and he sharply turns away from me. There's no point in telling you. This conversation is over. His black wings spread out. With a great rush of wind, he leaps into the air. I watch as he vanishes into the clouds. Karasu seems to have a lot of secrets, but I don't think he's a bad guy. Back on my own again, I continue to walk through the town. I find a street that seems to be a bit darker than the others. It is lit by light of countless floating red lanterns. Such beautiful lanterns. I'm going to check it out. Elegantly dressed yokai eye me curiously as I walk down the street. They smile mischievously behind decorated fans. Suddenly I hear a familiar voice. Now, ladies. One at a time, please. I stand on my tiptoes to see across the street. I spy Yukio surrounded by a crowd of girls. Oh, Yukio! I made you this bento box. Please take it. Yukio, this scarf is for you. I made it myself. Ladies, you're too kind and too lovely. I watch as Yukio accepts a pile of gifts from the squealing girls. Ah, he touched my hand. Yukio, you're so handsome. No, I'm nothing compared to how beautiful my princesses are. I hate guys like this. The girls squeal and continue to fawn over Yukio while he laughs. I'm torn on what I should do. Let's see what Yukio has to say about this. Leave the womanizer alone. Part of me wants to be like, you're disgusting, and then part of me is just like, nah, I would just see it and be like, yep, I hate him and keep walking. I see how it is. A pain that I was just beginning to forget creeps back into my chest. So he's just a womanizer after all. I push aside the ache in my heart and decide it's time to head back. Just as I turn to leave, Yukio glimpses me in the crowd. Good, because that's what I want to happen. Make him know that we saw him and that we're choosing to ignore him. That's the way to do it. For a tense moment, our eyes meet. I do have to say, sometimes I do have to double tap on the screen to get it to go. Okay, just because this has gone on for a long time, this is an hour long just about. But I know in the next chapter we'll probably run back into Hayato, and I kind of want to do his premium chapter choice. I'm honestly wondering if we stayed in the room, if we would have met him. But I'm also just he's an asshole, so I don't think he would actually stop by the inn to apologize. That doesn't seem like something he would do. But I am going to end this here. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to end this here because normally my prologue playthroughs are half an hour to 45 minutes. This is an hour. And I don't mind going over just a little bit just because it is the 1 year anniversary of Otomania, so I did want this to be special. But normally I only play the prologue and the first chapter, and that's what we just did, was the prologue and the first chapter. So I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is actually a lot more fun than I was expecting. I kind of had low expectations for Otomania. I definitely will have to play around with this more to see if it is worth it, and I actually might make a video. Actually, I've been wanting to make a video on how Otome mobile apps have changed over the years, because they've changed a lot, and I'm honestly not entirely thrilled with how some of the new ones are working. But that's for a different video. I might touch on it more later tonight if you guys check out the live stream. Like I said, it's going to be just a quick, maybe hour or two live stream. Probably around 7:30ish. And so please come check it out. It should be really fun. We're just kind of going to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of this series and talk about other fun, exciting things, because it is May and I have a lot of really fun things planned for May that I'm really excited to introduce on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the app Otomania. If you guys have played any games from it, your thoughts and opinions on it overall, I'd be happy to hear those. And if you have any ideas of what you want to see in future Otomania videos, please feel free to leave it in the comments below, or even stop by the stream and let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I release future Otomania videos or just other fun videos on my channel. Otomania comes out every other Monday, so be sure to keep an eye out for it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Love you. Bye.